A reading from the Living Gita with commentary by Sri Swami Satchidananda. Chapter 4, verse 16. Even the sages are sometimes confused about action and inaction. However, I'll tell you now what action is, and you'll be freed from evil. 4.17. Distinguish between right action, wrong action, and inaction. The way of karma is nearly impossible to understand. Commentary. It's important to discriminate between appropriate action, forbidden action, and inaction. Note the three: right action, wrong action, and inaction or actionless state. Scholars argue about the meaning of this sloka, but the majority think Krishna speaks of what is to be done, what is not to be done, and what is not doing anything. This is explained in the next sloka, 4.18. The person is wise who sees the inaction in actions, the action in inaction. He or she is a yogi and can accomplish everything. Commentary. Sloka 4.18 says the one who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is a wise person, a yogi. Having reached this point, you have accomplished everything. You do, and at the same time, do not. You do not, yet still you do. You sleep, and sleep not. You eat, yet eat not. So on and on. Two different things that look like opposites, but the wise person knows the difference. You see inaction amid all the actions. That means you know there are two different things in the same experience, two sides of the same coin. One acts, the other observes. The observer is the witness. As a witness, you don't act. As an actor, you don't witness. If you are a wise person, you take both positions simultaneously. You know who is doing and who is observing. And because you know how to be the witness, then even though your body and mind may be doing things, you know it is not you who is acting. But in the previous sloka, Krishna finished by saying, the way of karma is impossible to understand from the viewpoint of the onlooker who sees somebody doing something. The onlooker cannot tell whether the person is acting or not acting. Only the one doing the action will know. This is very deep. To understand karma, one has to rise up to a certain level where it is possible to discriminate between correct action, wrong action, and inaction. A simple example is that of the lotus flower, which blossoms when the sun comes up. When the sun goes down, it closes. Is it the sun that causes the blossom to open in the morning and close in the evening? Ask the sun, why are you doing that? The sun says, I don't know anything. All I know is I'm here. I don't even come and go. It's you who says the sun rises and sets. I'm never up. I never set. I don't get upset. From your standpoint, you think I'm coming and going. Similarly, a yogi appears to be doing things, coming and going, accomplishing this and that. Sometimes he may even say he's doing things, but in fact, it's nature making things happen. The yogi is a constant witness to it all. That way, he or she understands the secret of karma. The yogi perceives action from the state of inaction, at the same time enjoying inaction in the midst of action. This may sound a little philosophical. It's nice to hear, but hearing is not enough. When you reach the stage where you experience this, then you'll say, yes, I know what he means. Prakriti, the manifested universe, is controlled by the three gunas, Our minds and bodies are part of that Prakriti, which is constantly moved by the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas, balance, restlessness, and inertia. But who are you really? You are the self with a big S. You are the knower with a capital K. You are not affected by Prakriti. You are completely different. That's why you say, my mind or my body. When you say my mind has been disturbed, you're really right. It's not you, but your mind that's disturbed. But if you immediately add, and I'm really unhappy about it, that's not right. That's not the real you. But you insist, I'm unhappy because my mind is disturbed. If you were unhappy, you wouldn't even notice that your mind was unhappy. An unhappy or sick person can't recognize another unhappy or sick person. Only the sane person can discern if another is insane. If your very knowing itself were unhappy, you wouldn't be able to recognize the unhappiness of the mind. This means your knowing is always sane. For you are the knower, the awareness. You are aware of everything that's happening in your body and mind. This awareness never ceases to be. That is the constant, eternal, permanent you, the self with a capital S. But unfortunately, you usually identify yourself with the mind or the body and talk in those terms. I was happy, I am unhappy, and so on. The true you, which is the self or Atman, doesn't do anything. The Prakriti you, the nature operating through the mind and body, does it. Here is the action and the inaction at the same time. Even though I, as mind-body, did this action, I, as self-Atman, didn't do it. See? I did it, and certainly I didn't. That means two I's are there. The true I, the self, knew that my little I, my body-mind, did this action. Even though you see me, body-mind, acting, I, the self, am not acting. Just my mind and body are doing. You see? Inaction, inaction. Do you understand this? If you can keep this in mind, it's surely very helpful. Even when you feel depressed, you can just pull back quickly and ask, who is depressed? Certainly it's not me. I know someone who is depressed. Who? My mind. Why? Well, I told you not to do all that mischief. What can I do for it now? See how quickly you can separate away from identifying with your mind? It's very handy. You'll never get lost. You can rescue yourself from drowning in wrong identification. The very moment you separate from it, the agony is gone. It's like turning off the main switch. You become the person witnessing. Even with pain, you burn your finger, feel the pain, then quickly take it from the fire. Then inquire, pain? Where does it come from? Who is complaining of pain? Who got burnt? Who knows that? As you start analyzing the pain disappears. But when you identify with the body and mind which experience the pain, you are in agony. The minute you separate from it and start analyzing, it no longer affects you. If you get this point, it's very useful in day-to-day life. There's no need to get lost in all the ups and downs. The words of Sri Swami Satchidananda from the Living Gita. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.